Let's dive deeper into this topic of shipping and more. Joining me now is John Kartsonas. He's the founder and managing partner at Breakwave Advisors. It's a firm specializing in shipping and commodity investments. Thanks so much for taking time out to talk with us today.
Pleasure to be here.
So the war in Ukraine and the situation in the Red Sea, there are two geopolitical conflicts impacting the shipping industry. Let's talk about your vantage point. How do you think this is reshaping the shipping market in 2024?
Well, I think shipping has become in the front page of news lately for the wrong reasons, of course, because you do have the conflict in the Red Sea. Obviously, we had the Baltimore situation a few weeks back. You have the Panama Canal, which due to draw, you have less ships transiting. So there's a lot of issues happening globally that's affecting the shipping world. And that's something that I think most of the investors underestimate, how important shipping is today in the global economy. I mean, if you think about it, what shipping does is it connects the economies together, right? You have the producers and the consumers, and goods have to move from one side to the other. So shipping is basically this connecting link between the economies. Today you have a lot of disruptions, geopolitical disruptions, accidents, weather, and that's affecting shipping to a greater extent than before. And it's also affecting the consumer prices because you have to pay to transport these goods.
You said the investors underestimating these disruptions. In what way do you think that is, and what's the impact of underestimating the impact of these things?
So as you see globally, the investment market cap in shipping is tiny versus other parts of the economy. Is not really as important in the day-to-day investment decisions that people make. And I think that's going to change. And it's changing, of course. Now you see with what happened with the Houthis in the Red Sea. You saw what happened with the Baltimore accident. A few years back, you had the Suez Canal and a big ship got stuck there, right? And that affected basically a lot of consumers. So I think people are starting to pay more and more attention slowly in what's happening, because at the end of the day, it's not like 20 or 30 years ago that shipping was irrelevant. It's very relevant. When you talk about inflation, right? Prices rise and fall based on transportation goods as well, not only on demand. So you have to pay attention to shipping.
Your firm, Breakwave Advisors, that offers asset management and advisory services to the shipping and commodities industries. Talk me through what some of the biggest questions investors are looking to get into shipping and commodities. What kind of questions they're asking right now?
Right now, the main focus is inflation, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what's driving today's markets to a greater extent. And people want to know, does any event that's happening globally is affecting transportation prices and ultimately inflation? So that's the number one issue that people are asking today.
Breakwave has two ETFs trading on the NYSE ARCA, the dry bulk shipping ETF and the tanker shipping ETF. What are some of the main objectives of each?
So both of these ETFs, what they're tracking is the price of freight. The dry bulk ETF tracks the price of freight for dry bulk goods like iron ore and coal. And the tanker ETF tracks the price of shipping oil, crude oil. So the idea behind both of these ETFs is to get a clean, direct exposure to the price of freight. Obviously, you have shipping companies like the one that's listed today, that is a company and operates the ships. The two ETFs basically are directly investing in the price of freight. They don't own any assets.
As industries evolve over time, what do you see as some potential storylines or challenges facing the shipping industry in the months and years to come?
I think the number one issue today in shipping has to do with renewable fuels. So to bring down the carbon footprint of shipping, which is huge versus other industries. And that's a trend that's going to continue for many, many years. Now, this transition probably will bring disruption as well, because in order to transform from traditional fuels like fuel oil to like alternative fuels like LNG or methanol or ammonia, this will require many years, and that will bring a lot of disruption in the industry. That's probably going to be positive for freight rates going forward, because whenever you have a disruption, prices tend to rise. But I think that's the number one challenge for the years ahead.
And of course, those costs will be passed down to consumers. So we see this just sort of adding to the inflation picture, right?
Yeah, over the long run, I think you're going to see transportation costs rise because of that. It's much more expensive to use alternative fuels than the traditional fuels. Everybody knows that. Look what's happening in the electric car industry with cars, and probably down the road maybe other fuels. But I think like ultimately the price of freight will rise over time because somebody has to pay for the more expensive fuels.
At this point, does the industry just have to get used to a higher price point? Is that sort of, we talk about it as inflation and that we think it's going to come down. Is this just a situation where you don't see that happening?
Well, I think shipping used to be a commoditized industry, meaning that transportation was a given, is not anymore a given. Plus, there is a higher quality in terms of transportation today. Safety, alternative fuels, lower carbon footprint, all these are rising every year, and that's going to bring the cost of transportation higher for the years to come.
All right, John, thanks so much for your expertise. Appreciate it.
Great to be here, thank you.